Hey everybody, welcome. Have a seat and let's kick this night off. My name is Hans Voss, and I am a proud and enthusiastic supporter of On the Ground, and I'm happy that you're all here. I think that this organization is something really special, and I think it's a strong mission and a strong track record of results. And the only way it keeps going is if people like you support it. So the theme here tonight is to learn, to engage, to update on what's happening, and to donate and support. So feel free to shout out when you're ready to give some money because it's a fundraiser. Let us not forget that. I wanted to say something real quick. I have a few opening comments. There's a guy here who's really important to this night and a lot of things that we're a part of. His name is Chris Treater. He's around. I know a lot of us know him. There's a lot of coffee comrades in the house from Cooperative Coffees. He and his wife, ex-wife, Jody, founded Higher Grounds Trading Company. And then he went on to be at the center of kicking off On the Ground, this nonprofit we're celebrating. And also, you might not know that we wouldn't be standing in this building right now if he didn't come up with this idea and push it forward into the community and work with others. So I just want to say, hey, thanks, Chris. Give it up for Chris Treater. Oh, he's got a baby, too. So I have been in the nonprofit world for like most of my life. There's a nice organization that's actually right across the hall called the Groundwork Center for Resilient Communities. For nearly 30 years, I've been pushing an environmental advocacy message through this organization. And usually I talk about our organization at these kinds of things, but I'm not going to do that. But what I will do is just talk a little bit about nonprofit organizations and what it takes and how On the Ground is meeting the goals of what it takes to be a successful nonprofit. You got to have a really strong vision and a mission that produces results that you can demonstrate and show people. And as you'll see tonight, there are lots of good things happening because On the Ground exists. And you got to have a core group of people who are working hard to keep it going. And man, the board of directors and the people at the center of On the Ground care and they show up and they work hard. And you got to have people. You got to have a constituency that believes in what's happening and supports it. So there's a lot of healthy nonprofit vibe happening, and I can't wait for the program so we all get to get updated on what's shaking it on the ground. So quick, this is a fun introduction to the main person here for the evening. 12 years ago, some of us went to Ethiopia and had a chance to participate in the Run Across Ethiopia. In my simple little life, it's one of the best things and most defining experiences I've ever had. I walked away with a much deeper, brighter worldview. And my wife, Maureen, was with me. Come on, Maureen, I don't know where you are. She's doing something useful. And my daughter, so it was a family experience, and it was really great. It was a big run, right? That's kind of the spirit of this organization. And it's interesting because not many of us were actual runners. I can think of maybe one or two who warranted trying to run 250 miles in 10 days, but most of us were just kind of like average folks trying to figure it out, and we did figure it out. But one of them was not an average person at all. It was Claire Everhart, who's the MC for the evening. And Claire was fresh out of college, where she was a runner, and competitive college runner. But it was the 1 mile race and the cross country race, which is like 3 miles, right? We were running 25 miles a day for 10 days straight, so that's a whole different ball game. And us older guys and some other people were seeing this young woman just knuckle down and gut out these long day runs, and then always had a great spirit and a great integrity, and just was like the center of our team at such a young age. We thought there's something special about Claire Everhart, a real strength, a real sense of grit and courage, and an integrity that is like beyond her years. She's not that young anymore. I don't know where she is, but that was 12 years ago. And I'll tell you. We all had our struggles during that run. I know I had mine. And the last day when we were coming up on the big hurrah, Claire was totally sick. She was like flat on her back. And we were like trying to support each other. And we're like, hey, Claire, it's okay. You don't need to run this last 10 miles or whatever it was, kind of a short day, but she was totally sick. And I remember I was like with somebody else, I don't know, maybe it was Matt or someone, and we're like talking to Claire, and she was looking down, and she looked up and was straight dead in the eyes. She said, "I'm running." And she just ran completely sick to 10 miles, and you never would have known it because she just has that kind of strength and courage. So Claire is from Erie, Pennsylvania. She went to University of Ohio Wesleyan. She from on the ground, went on to work for USAID, and now she's currently employed at the U.S. International Development Finance Corporation, which is doing financing for people around the world. She lives in Washington, D.C. with her husband, Sharif, and she's come here today to be a part of this, and she's the chair of the board, and I can't think of a better human being to be the chair of the board on the ground right now. Oh, and by the way, she also ran across the Congo and Palestine. So, here it is. Welcome, Claire Everhart. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll shout out that Hans also almost broke his ankle on that run and was the best support bus, making sure we were fed and watered and encouraging us. So everyone had their struggles on those 10 days of 10 marathons. As Hans said, I did all 3 of the runs that On the Ground has put on. And I did it because after that first one, I saw the impact that On the Ground has. And because of this really insane endeavor, which anytime you tell someone, they just really think you're crazy, it raises so much money. So we raised hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars across this Ethiopia run and in Congo and the West Bank. And the projects that we were able to do because of that were just amazing. And the gratitude of the communities was overwhelming. And something that I love so much about On the Ground that you don't see everywhere is because of the connections we have with the farming communities, we design the projects together with the communities that we're going to serve. And so we know they want it. They tell us what they need. They tell us what they want. And so we know it's something that they really need. And on these runs, the communities are there as we end a marathon every day. They're running the last mile with us. They're celebrating with us at the end. I don't know other organizations that have that kind of connection to the folks on the ground that they're helping. So that's why I've stayed involved. That's why I did all 3 of these crazy runs. That's why I'm now so honored to be on the board, and why we're here tonight to try to raise more funds to do more work. I will mention, Hans mentioned that I used to work at USAID. I now work at the Development Finance Corporation that's working to increase access to finance for borrowers around the world that banks aren't comfortable lending to. However, even these massive, really great organizations that I believe in so much, they are not where On the Ground is. They can't get there, and they can't get there quickly, but On the Ground can. And just to give you a few examples, this May, there was horrific flooding in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. DRC, this is my shirt from that run. A lot of people have liked this shirt. There was just horrible flooding. Over 5,000 people died in these floods. On the Ground was the first organization there. We were the first ones there with food and support and cash payments to help families survive. And we also met Chris Treater, who was there. Yeah.
Days after the landslide, residents of Namakuru village
and Chris Treater visited very soon after that, and we met all of these orphans whose parents had been killed in the floods, and they were just running around without parents, and there was no one else there to do anything about this. On the Ground was there, and we partnered with Cooperative Coffees, who helped raise enough funds to support these kids for several months, provide therapy and schooling and food, 2 meals a day. No one else was there doing that. There was a volcano in the eastern eruption a year and a half, 2 years ago. On the Ground was there 3 days before any other organization was there with food. And then another example, you'll hear more later about Erman, who is our staff person on the ground there, and he is so embedded in the community that everyone knows to come to him. One thing that On the Ground does a lot of is supporting orphans with school fees and costs of going to school, and word gets around. And a few months ago, Herman wakes up, comes out of his house, 17 kids are waiting outside of his door because they heard that other kids got their school fees paid for. And so they're waiting because they know On the Ground will help. So we rallied, in a week, scrambled together the funds. Which leads me to my last point. There is such dire need, and we can't meet it currently with the finances that we have now. And every day, weekly, Erman is sending us just really heartbreaking problems in Eastern Congo, and we don't always have enough money to do anything about it. And we're often raising it as quickly as we can. Board members keep digging into their pockets. Part of our vision for this event is to really try to have funds on hand so that we can respond even quicker and we can respond more, because we just continue to learn of more needs. So one of my asks tonight, we have QR codes all over the place. You can donate on Venmo or on our website, and you can do a one-time gift. Anything helps, but I would also ask you to please consider becoming a monthly donor, because that really helps us to plan and always have funds on hand for these emergencies that come up and continue to come up. And we really want to be able to respond. Just a couple more things, and then I'm going over my time. Another big thing we do in the Congo is a gender equity training, where husbands also come along with their wives, and it's really phenomenal. We get so many reports afterwards that it's really changed the family dynamic, and the husband and wife together share their finances, and the woman has more power in the marriage. There's a waiting list all the time. We could provide this to so many more folks with more funds. We've also learned of a problem where parents can't bring their babies home from the hospital because they can't pay the fees. And the hospital will literally not let them take their child home until they pay these fees. So if we had more funds, we could consider something like bring the babies home is what maybe we would call it. And we could actually help pay for these parents to be able to bring their kids home. So, I mean, I could go on and on and on about the need, but we can't meet all of it if we don't have more funds. So please consider, as you continue to learn throughout the evening, we'll have music, and then you'll hear from more board members and music and more board members. Please think throughout the evening about what you can give and partner with us to provide more support. Okay, I'm going to launch into a couple housekeeping points, and then I'm going to introduce Timothy. Tonight could not have happened without a few key sponsors. Our lead sponsor, which made all the musicians possible, Diana Mylock over in the red, thank you so much. Her and her charitable foundation, Begonia, could not have done it without you. Thank you so much. We also had 3 businesses that gave very generous donations to pay for the free charcuterie board downstairs and some of the costs to hold it in this building, and that is Oriana. We are so thankful to them. Woo, yes. And Cherry Republic and Co-op Coffees. Thank you so much. And then lastly, 2 very generous in-kind contributions. Chelsea Bay Design helped us with our marketing and graphics in the back. Thank you so much, Chelsea. And then Aaron and Stone Hut Studios is responsible for all this amazing AV and the projector outside and the TV screens. Thank you so much. Clipping videos together. Thank you, Aaron and Stone Hut Studios. All right. Couple more housekeeping. We do have a live stream out in the lobby. So if you need to step out, you'll be able to see it and watch out there. As I mentioned, the free charcuterie board downstairs and a cash bar. And then lastly, you will see Janelle and Annie kind of musing around. They might have grabbed you already, but they're doing a little interview video project in a room when you step out of here. So 2 quick questions, and they're putting together a project around thanking the coffee farmers, and how you think you would like to change the world. So think about that. And then, without further ado, Timothy Young, also on our board, and here from the beginning, and he'll share more about that. He has a history as an organic and fair trade food company founder and has run a very successful company for many years. He made all of these 3 crazy runs happen. He did the full run across the West Bank, and we joke that on the others, he maybe ran more than us because he was running between support vehicles and keeping us alive with food and water. We've gone back and forth on what to call him: director of the run, life support, chef, keeping us fed. He would map out the runs. He would make sure we had somewhere to sleep. He made the logistics of all of these 3 runs happen, so we could not have done it without him. And with that, I will bring up Timothy.
I'm going to make this quick, and Chris, you can start coming up because I'll be done before you get up here. I just wanted to really introduce Chris, who's going to introduce our first performer tonight. I am just this fortunate guy that gets to call myself a co-founder because I happened to be standing in the room when Chris presented this idea to me, right? And we were like, yeah, let's do this, you know? Happened to be a bar in Havana, Cuba, and the very next, and he proposed, we should run across Ethiopia, like, you know, like all the way to Yirgacheffe from Addis Ababa and raise money for farmers. And I'm like, okay, I'm in, you know? It was that easy, you know? And then the next morning we knock on the Ethiopian embassy to Cuba, and the ambassador meets us, and he sits down, and we propose this idea to us, and he's very attentive and kind of supportive and hands us his business card and never returned an email after that. He never talked to that guy again. So that's just the beginning of the story. I feel like, you know, I've just been so fortunate to be able to be the guy who helps execute this man's ideas, his passion for the people and the communities with which we work. I've been proud to carry his luggage on the thousands of flights we've been on over the years. And so I want to give this stage to Chris. Come on up and introduce our next act and tell us a few stories. Thank you. Everybody, thanks for coming.
The first time Timothy had me over for dinner, he cooked me squirrel nachos from the side of the road. So I decided I wanted him to be my chef for the run across Ethiopia, and that's all I had. I was going to run across Ethiopia. Timothy was going to be the chef. And then Timothy made everything happen. So thank you, Timothy, for being you and being an amazing human. I appreciate that. Because it's not just that, it's a lot of stuff. One of my favorite moments was when Timothy yelled at me in Owasso when I went to the money, what was it called, ATM. And I got back in the van, and he said, "Give me the money." And I said, "No." And I said to the driver, "Let's go." I learned my place that moment. And it was spot on, because I should not handle the money. Not that I was going to do anything bad with it. It was just going to be in all my pockets. So I really appreciate Timothy. I appreciate all of you and everybody doing great things. But what I'm really appreciative of at the moment is Amber and Teclore and her mom, who apparently is watching right now in the Congo. Can we all say, "Hi, Herman"? Hi, Herman. Thanks. Amber and Teclore have made an amazing film, and you're about to watch it. And the thing about this is, let me make sure, seeing if my daughter's in here right now, which I don't think she is. The thing about it is, I'll tell you a little story. I had lost my phone, or something happened to my phone, so I'm at AT&T. I had just gone with my family to Hilton Head, and every 2 years we go to Hilton Head, and it's glorious, glorious privilege of being at the beach every 2 years. So little Pearl's with me at that time. She was like 4, and I had to talk to AT&T. So I gave her my iPad, and I said, "Look at these photos from Hilton Head." Well, in my iPad, or in my photos, my WhatsApp photos automatically, purposefully go into my photos. So at that time, people from the Congo had sent me ongoing, this happens all the time, videos and photos. And it's normal. When you live in a situation, you reflect the situation you live in. When you live in the place where there's most people on earth who have died due to conflict, you reflect the existence in which you live in. And so having friends going back and forth, that's part of their existence. So the photos were in the Hilton Head things. And I'm talking to AT&T, and Pearl, pulls on me and says, "Daddy, what's this?" And it was a photo that I won't describe, but it was not pretty. And I told her it was a cartoon. And she believed me. And what happened was, she believed me. But what you're going to see is a similar photo in this video. So I want you to be prepared for it. If you've been through trauma, that will elicit something, then close your eyes or walk out of the room. It's okay. But I want those of you who feel up for it to watch the screen, because this is reality that many people in the world deal with. And the fact of the matter is, the only reality that I see us seeing in America are those that look like us. So it's important to reflect those who are dealing with things around the world that don't have the opportunities that we have. So I'm gonna allow Amber to introduce herself, because I don't think she needs an introduction. You'll understand Amber when you meet her. Thank you.
How's everybody doing tonight? All right. I know y'all came to have fun and like dig in your pockets and give money and everything. But I think the first time I met Chris showed me the Run Across Palestine. Like that was our first meeting. He's like, oh, and check out this film. And he's always very diligent about his passion for the work that he does in communities, with communities around the world. I don't want to say it like this, white savior thing. He does work with these communities. And so with that, he introduced me to Erman. Hi, Erman, if you can see us. And Erman was so gracious. I asked him, I said, hey, send me what reality looks like. Because I'm a person who feels like we either gonna tell the truth or we just how many kids in here bullshitting, okay? And so he sent me reality. And I'm from Flint, so a lot of the reality wasn't as shocking as it might be to some people. And I forget that. And so sometimes I would share it without a disclaimer. And I've done that to my husband, who's also from Flint, but maybe just not as, desensitized as I am. And so I wanted to be able to give a disclaimer that this is real. These are people's real lives. And when I saw the photos and videos that Erman would send me, I asked him, can I, and it just kind of came in my head like, this is what we need to do. I said, may I use these images to create a film? And Erman was like, yes. And I told him I would let him see it before I let anybody else see it, so that if it did not represent his community in the way that he wanted it to be represented, he could say no, and I would show no one. And then Erman was so gracious to actually speak with us on the phone. We did this WhatsApp call, and so some of that is used in the film as well. And it will just give you not even a taste of what life is like and what reality is like. So if you are triggered, I'm gonna say that's good. If you feel like you should be doing more, I'm gonna say that's good. That is what the purpose of this film is. Again, if you don't want to see it, this is your time to step out. But y'all watch Game of Thrones and the Red Wedding, like, for real, y'all can't watch this. Something is wrong. We play Call of Duty, and we do all of this. Our culture loves violence until it's like, this is somebody's real life. This is what somebody is going through, and you're doing nothing about it. We always talk about what we would have done if we were alive when slavery was going on. Well, it is. People are being oppressed every single day, and we live comfortably, and we, a lot of times, don't do anything about it. So, without further ado, I don't know who's queuing up the film, but this film is called Good Intentions, and I hope you appreciate it.
job, so I ain't ever working. Buy me land over Louboutin, Bitcoin over Birkin.
Hey, there we go. We got it. At least I think.
Bewitched people kill and eat human flesh.
Pole sana vraiment.
During the night, they fly to Europe and even go to cemeteries. This is typical.
Good intents lead to people being lynched. Cut your tongue from your mouth, excuse my French. Rape your mother, burn the house, eat her spouse. 9 months later, her breast puts food in her rapist baby's mouth. Victimized, plus traumatized, plus stigmatized. If a woman is raped in the village and there's no one there to see it, do we still sympathize? Or do we tell lies about her character? Then witch hunt her children after they bury her. Collateral damage, colonized and socialized by an evil so savage that it became habit. The spirit of Leopold still wreaking havoc. The world act like they invisible, maybe that's the magic they fear. The world only cares about Congolese resources, maybe that's the message they hear.
Most of the victims of those who are even hunted are children and old women. I think that this ongoing war is unknown from USA and from other countries. So many people doesn't know what is happening in Congo now. Today we have more than 20,000 people displaced in just near Goma who are living in refugee camps.
This is typical.
The people are leaving their places without anything because they are really fearing to be killed. So many people are arrested and others are killed to be accused to be in link with the other camp of enemy. But the witchcraft situation is a reality, and we can find children that were chased from their families because they are accused by their stepmothers, by some member of families. Most of them are orphans who are accused of witchcraft. Most of the shocked stories are about we have children that were abandoned at the hospital by their parents because the parents couldn't have fees to pay the hospital fees. We hope that as the president of Congo and Rwanda and Angola met last week, maybe we can have a peace, they can have negotiations to try to resolve this issue. They also need food, need medication, they need clothes. You can imagine the need of someone who is leaving his house empty hands.
We speak with no words, verb type love, herb and purge type love, constantly birthing and being birthed like earth grounding, air cooling, salve soothing, moving in stillness, blossoming realness, energetically eternal, inferno, infinite.
I appreciate all of you
It
for
doesn't
allowing
exist because we
for allowing yourself to sit with that. I know that some of that, I mean, even for myself watching it in a room full of people, was emotional. And so I appreciate you for letting yourself sit with that, for sitting through that, because that's somebody's everyday reality. And so there are some images from some of the photos that Erman has sent me, and I have did graphic arts work with them, and they will be in the kitchen area, and they are for sale. There are 5 prints, and that the funds raised from that will go to the artists that collaborated not only on the film, but also Erman, because he is an artist who collaborated on this film with me. And I know that there are going to be donations from On the Ground, but I want to always pay artists as an artist. I don't want him to be doing this just for On the Ground. He was a big part of making this film happen. He's the reason that artwork happened. I want to be able to send him funds. And the other artists, my son created the music behind it. My smaller children were acting in it, and they've seen the film. So you may think it's a little bit heavy. They're homeschooled, and we utilize it as a teaching mechanism to let them know that, your reality is not everybody's reality. And so that they can see the privilege that they walk in the world with as well. It has gotten very quiet in here. So I'm going to do one more piece that is maybe a little heavier, and then we're going to get light. Is that cool with everybody? If it's not cool with y'all, y'all can go get some charcuterie or whatever they call it. Y'all can go get the grown-up Lunchables, because that's what it is. And so Jordan is going to join me for my set. I appreciate him. And this piece actually, I started writing this piece some years ago, and I just finished it in there today. But I think it was during the Arab Spring when I started writing this. It may have been a little after that. But there were accounts of, in Palestine, they were bombing areas, and they would send what they call warning knocks, which would be like a call to a family. Basically, you got 5 minutes to get out the crib. And so my dad was a firefighter, and so we used to do these fire drills all the time. And so I don't even know if my daughter is here right now, if she remembers this. After that jarred me so bad that I kept hearing phones ring. I would wake up out of my sleep thinking that I heard the phone ring. And so I was like, let me see how fast I could get my kids out of the house if we just doing everyday things, right? So they didn't know what was going on. I was the only one who knew this was going to happen. And I'm just like, hey, we got to go. I couldn't have got them out of the house in 5 minutes. Wouldn't even have happened. And I think of people with elderly parents, with babies, with somebody sleeping. That was the warning. Yeah, we're going to warn you that we're about to bomb your home. Because we think that there are, whatever the term they use in insurgents, whatever, in the area. And so I started writing this piece, and then when this event was presented, I started to flesh it out a little more, and then it became what it became back there in the green room, so. There are babies being slaughtered in the Congo, and all I can do is write about it. I just don't feel right about it. I stay up nights about it, wondering if my pen is the best weapon that I can use to fight about it. They say it's mightier than the sword. I wonder if Congolese mothers would agree, or if they would prefer we use the sword if it means their babies would be free. Freedom ain't free by no means. Things ain't always as they seem. Life under pressure, fighting oppressors, living as peace is a dream. There are babies being butchered in Palestine, and all I can do is speak about it. I often feel weak about it. I also lose sleep about it, wondering if my voice is the best weapon that I can make sure the conquerors reap about it. They say it's my most powerful tool. I wonder if Palestinian mothers would agree, or if they would prefer we use the sword if it means their babies could be free. Freedom ain't free by no means. Things ain't always as they seem. Life under pressure, fighting oppressors, living in peace is a dream. Living in peace is a dream. Okay, now I'm gonna just do some poetry from my arsenal that I did not write specifically for this event. It may be a little lighter, but I don't want you to necessarily leave this event all the way light, okay? I want y'all to leave with a little bit of heaviness. I want you to leave with a little bit of bitterness. I want you to leave with a little bit of remembrance that, yes, this is a fundraiser, but what are these funds going towards? When me and Erman talked, and he told me that for $10, he could supply menstruating people with menstrual products for, I think it's 4 months. $10. I can't even buy a box of pads for $10. You know what I mean? But they have concentrated it down so well, and it's such a well-working machine that he's like, I can get these resources and I can get them to people the way they need to get them if we have the support and the funds. And I'm like, I waste $10 at Starbucks or wherever, I don't waste it at Higher Grounds, but I spend it at Higher Grounds. You know what I'm saying? I spend $10 and don't even think about it. And $10 could mean 4 months of me as a young woman being able to go to school because I have menstrual products. Or me, not having an infection or something because I have the hygiene products that I need. So just think about that, and as Claire said about the monthly giving, how many of us can give $10 a month? I'm broke. I'm an artist, so I can give $10 a month, Some of y'all in here ain't quite broke, so remember that, okay? Sister, you've been on my mind. Sister, we're two of a kind. I'm something. I hope you think that you're something too. We ate fish, grits, and sweet potato biscuits as Granny drank Folgers and smoked Marlboro like 100s. We hunted grasshoppers and green snakes, ate blackberries straight from the tree. We was knee-high to a bullfrog. Good old country girls. Late night, ditch jumping, cornfield running, tag, you're it. Little Sally Walker, down, down, baby. Red light, green light, lightning bug catching, earthy smelling. See, sweat made us salty, but God made us sweet. We was clapping our hands and stomping our feet. We ate kush, kush, and kaye. And if you're not black or from the South, kush, kush, and kaye is like cornbread and buttermilk. And you take the cornbread and you put it in the buttermilk and you put a little sugar on it and you eat it. That's called kush, kush, and kaye, just if somebody bring it up, okay? We ate kush, kush, and kaye. We're closer than kisses, we're sisters. We be 7 times whatever, divided by nothing. Net-Net's daughters, Norma Jean's nieces, from the stock of D, Val, and Peaches. See, me and you, us never part, my key, da-da. Keep my sisters close to heart, my key, da-da. Ain't no ocean, ain't no sea, my key, da-da. Keep my sister away from me, my key, da-da. Not man, mountains, miles, marriage, or money. Nothing but death can keep you from me. And even in the great beyond, our bond will be as strong as our shared courage and our shared sorrow. We've borrowed each other's clothes and courage. We've cried until it hurted. We laughed until the wounds healed, willed wonders from our wombs, shared a 9x11 room, broke curfew, and been so broke we had to take bottles back to the store for gas money. But we were made to make it. It's in our chemical makeup. We don't make excuses. We make it work with what we have, which is each other, forever. And I wrote that for my little sister when she went away to college because I had missed her, and so there's that. I don't know how I'm on time. Who got time? Okay, they'll tell me when it's time for me to get off the stage, I guess. Okay, I got a minute or two. So, I found God in myself and I loved her dearly. With her around, I don't need anyone else near me, so at times I speak so that only she can hear me. On occasion, I get teary when I think about the she who almost wasn't, and the hundreds of little girls just like her, so each day I rewrite her with one detail remaining constant. She's always a fighter. And I may not always like her, but I'll always love her. I'm not afraid to show her public displays of affection. She is my resurrection, the reflection of my hardest learned lessons. See, I offer her protection, but she gives me clarity. I feel like she's getting the short end of the stick, but that doesn't seem to matter. She says that as long as I repay her with laughter, that I fulfill my obligation. See, she's been here from the beginning. I just had to give her some space, and she'll be here for the duration. I just have to be patient and trust her. She's made up of portions of my daughter and my mother, Grandma Annie and Grandma Fan, and all those other women who let me hold their hands and gave me pieces of themselves so that I could expand. I could never fully repay them, so in their names, I plan to tell every little brown girl I meet that she is beautiful. Give them firsthand accounts of what this world can do to you and teach them how to fight through it. I'll show them that happiness is replenishable, but it's up to them to renew it. No one can give it or take it. So sometimes the best battle plan is to be still and patient. Rebel with silence. My mama taught me that I could kill them with kindness. My daughters taught me about love and its definite blindness, and that I am definitely a demonstration of how the divine blesses each person. So even when I don't feel like I'm worth it, God lets me know that it's still working. These were not planned tears, okay? These tears were not supposed to be here, but they are, so I'm gonna let them go. And so Diana, I didn't know you was gonna be here, right? But look what I wore. So Diana was like, I got something that I'm not gonna wear it, like, but I think you could, you know. And so today, I couldn't find it. I've been wanting to wear it for like weeks, and I couldn't find it. And this morning, I went and pulled it out of a basket and was just like, I'm wearing this tonight. Thank you. So, I got time for one more? Do I? Because if not, you can kick me off the stage. Okay, because the crowd said one more. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to do this one more. I'm going to try to make it quick. And this one more, because it's going to represent Flint. And so I'm gonna do that. And I'm going to give y'all another disclaimer. I'm going to use the N-word because there are a lot of political reasons why I use it. I use it because some of y'all in this room probably still use it when y'all singing rap songs and y'all forget to bleep out that part. But we ain't gonna say that. But it's in here for other reasons. It's in here for the shock value because that's how we talk where I'm from too. So I'm just being real with y'all. If it offends you, you can step out now. I'm not gonna take no offense, okay? All right. Ready? It was the one we did earlier. Okay. I've questioned my faith and I've tested my maker. And I've tested my faith and I've questioned my maker. Still, I can't make sense out of what makes sense because my senses get defenseless when it comes to dollars and cents. I used to find it odd to thank God when you can't even pay your rent. And you gave up chocolate for Lent when all that's in your pockets is lint. And when something good happens, you quick to say it's heaven sent, but when the shit hits the fans, you don't turn to God, you blame man. And you wouldn't hesitate to bloody your hands to show loyalty to some land. Sounds like idol worship to me. But that's what they say we must do if we choose to remain free. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died and their brides were broken like stallions, yet I remain a Cimarron as I simmer on the brink of boiling over and staining my star-spangled banner. Excuse my manners, but I'm just regurgitating the rhetoric that I've rehearsed since birth. They taught us to pledge allegiance to a flag when only God can save me, and TV is raising our babies, and God forbid you from Haiti because they act like them niggas got rabies. And I'm not just talking shit, yo, I live this here daily. And being conscious can't save me because dudes in my hood think I'm crazy. So I just lay in my bed and listen to gun spray and pray that one day one stray won't make my babies a statistic. And I'm not being paranoid up in Flint, this realistic. And being mystic don't mean shit to the guys of ballistics. You know them trigger happy niggas that be grimming at me. And yo, they say I act stuck up because I won't give them nappy. And they want to chill up in the dugout like they play for the team, but when I build them a field of dreams, then they want to be traded. And I hate to sound jaded, but I'm just happy I made it. Through all them nights I drank too much knowing my kidneys can't take it. And all them nights I chill with dudes in spots I knew could be raided, but I felt like I was ride or die, so I never debated. Except with God, when I questioned my faith or tested its patience. Thank y'all. Sorry for getting a little, you know.
Thank you so much, Amber. Thank you, Jordan. We're going to close out the Congo session with one last clip from Erman himself. He also heard us, by the way. He texted the board that he heard us say hi. So we can cue up the interview from Erman.
Hello everyone, I am Erman Ambali Luango on the ground DRC program here in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. We are very grateful for the great impact we are making in the lives of coffee farmers here in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Our main work is based on the gender equity here in Congo. That includes literacy for the women, gender action learning systems, workshops for the women with their husbands. They are also making savings, but also we are enabling them to make income-generating activities here in the Democratic Republic of Congo. On the ground, we is also supporting refugees with shelters, food, hygienic kits for the women. We are also helping hundreds of children, orphans, to attend school by providing to them tuition fees and school items, school supplies. Thank you so much for your support to On the Ground. Thank you so much for attending this great event of On the Ground. You are welcome.
Thank you, Erman, if you're still watching. One last thought on that is the tough videos that you saw from Amber's work. Erman sees that every day, and he sends videos like that to us very often, and yet continues to lead us in our projects there and keep us on track. So thank you, Erman. We're now going to shift to talking about our work in the West Bank in Palestine. We did a run there, 5 marathons in 5 days. We're going to show a trailer for a film that Aaron Dennis and Stone Hut Studios made. You'll hear music in the background from Joshua Davis, who is here with us tonight. So I will ask him to come up after the trailer is over, and we'll hear something from him. But he traveled with us on those 5 days and developed an album around that run and was with us for those 5 marathons.
Is that way. Let's go!
Wherever they uproot an olive tree, we're going to plant a tree. And that is a huge message of hope and serious perseverance.
We're going to do a run. It'll be a run across Palestine, roughly from Hebron to Jenin.
We're going to run together. We're going to have an experience together.
We're going to bring lots of attention to the struggles of these farmers and plant thousands of trees along the way.
We might encounter some barriers, but that's just what we're here for, to break down barriers. We've broken down so many barriers by being here in the first place.
When you plant a tree, you're also planting a vision for the future. You're saying, I have a future.
Hi. I am really grateful to be here tonight, and so thankful to On the Ground and everybody that put their effort into tonight. And look at, that's my name on the screen with the water feature. I had a lot of things I kind of wanted to say, but I'm plugging this. I don't know if that's for me, but I'm just going to try it and see what happens, if that's okay. Good. This trip was one of the things in my life that I will always come back to, and was a incredible, incredibly difficult, incredibly game-changing. It's one of these moments that just rocks your perception of everything. I'm a nice Jewish boy from Detroit, and I grew up, putting the coins in little banks to plant the trees in Israel, and basically went on a birthright trip, and I'd been to Israel a bunch of times previous to this trip, and I got a call from Chris. This is a while ago, and he said we're going to be doing this run, and it's a 129-mile ultra marathon across the West Bank, and I was like, dude, you have the wrong guy, in Chris's infinite wisdom, he was like, no, I don't have the wrong guy. And I think he was right, for me, selfishly at least. He didn't have the wrong guy. A few months later, I was in the West Bank, and I made friends there I think that I would never have made, and witnessed things that I never would have witnessed. And I'm not going to say that I know the ins and outs of the politics and whatever, but I know it when I see oppression, and I know it when I see apartheid, and what I saw there was horrifying. And I have relatives in the Israeli settlements. My wife was at home this whole time. My wife Ann was at home fielding these desperate calls from my family, my mom and my aunts and uncles and cousins, telling me that I was a traitor, and telling me that I was going to die over there. And the bigotry and the fear goes so deep, and it's so hard to talk about for me. And so I wrote a bunch of songs, and when I got there, I was afraid, just because of where I came from. I was very, very afraid. And I met Nassar on the first day that we got there, and you'll see if you don't know him, he has this way about him that is so disarming and so welcoming and so warm. And I was like, oh my God, it just immediately lowered my blood pressure and made me feel like I was in the right place. And his intention and his care, and as just still to this day, it makes me really emotional. He was I felt safe with him, and learning more and more and more about the things that he has done, and the incredible gifts he's given, and the work he's done has made me his fan even more and more and more. And but the thing is, it didn't stop with Nassar. It was like I felt more and more safe when I was there, because the people I was around were so welcoming and warm, even though they had been through so much oppression, and even though I was me and they were them. They invited me in always, and I'm grateful for that, not only for the trip, but for the shock and perspective, and for a total life changer. And I can't speak to the atrocities that are going on there right now, and I won't try, but I'll sing you this song.
I went looking for answers that couldn't be found. Set an uneasy pace on that uneven ground, between the downtrodden and the blood of my blood. Why do I keep waiting on the dove? Between the rubbish and the rubble, there's no place to hide. Trust and trouble can't walk side by side. Why is it the latter that seems to fit like a glove? Why do I keep waiting on the dove? So many people looking out for their own, with tear gas and plate glass, with slings and with stones, when there's no room to breathe. It's hard not to show. Why can't I waiting on the dove? Well, I'm clinging to something too tight to drop it. These tears keep it coming, nothing seems to stop it, and every drop just adds a little more to the flood. Why do I keep waiting on the dove? Houses ripped down. I put names to the faces in these crumbling towns. I see sorrow so deep, but there's laughter and love. Why do I keep waiting on the dove? Well, I've seen people caught on both sides of the wall. Must one side rise and another side fall? Can there only be peace on one side, silenced in blood? Why do I keep waiting on the dove? A sign, there's no sign of dry land. The water keeps rising and there's nothing but darkness above. Why do I keep waiting? Why do I keep waiting? Why do we keep waiting on the dove?
Thanks. So it's my honor and my pleasure to introduce Nassar. Come on up here, Nassar, please. Nassar Abufarha.
Thank you, Josh, for your kind words and music. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Amber, for the work that you do and your shout and the poem that you shout out for Palestine and the Palestinian children. It's really, I'm blessed and happy to be here and connect with my community in Traverse. We really, over 12 years from the Run Across Palestine, have become more than friends, brothers, and in connection with each other, all of us as a team. And a lot has transpired from the run, whether with us directly, with me personally, with my company, with our farmers and the network of farmers, and the connections between many of the runners and the team of the run and the farmers and the communities they have visited. The run was so impactful in its own. People was amazed that there are people coming from all the way from Michigan to run across Palestine on foot under the conditions of hostilities on the roads that they suffer, and to plant olive trees as they do it. We planted, I believe, 6,000 olive trees in that trip. So it's heartwarming and touching to Palestinians that people care. For many years, the hardest to feeling among Palestinians is that we are left alone. The world has forgotten about us, or the world is incapable to be rational when it comes to Palestine for so many years. And we are out of the rules of the game, out of the discourse of humanity, and to have these Americans in particular come in personal capacity to connect with Palestinians, I think it speaks volumes to every Palestinian so that who they have been in touch with or have learned about the events and while they are doing the Run Across Palestine. So I don't want to underestimate the work that on the ground is doing, really on the ground, far outweighs the big mega dollars that big aid institutions can do on the ground. Because I am been in Palestine in this project, Canaan Fair Trade and the Palestine Fair Association, for 20 years. Next year we're gonna celebrate our 20th anniversary. And I've seen all the NGOs activities, whether it's American or European. It does not compare to the little efforts that grassroots organizations, like on the ground, are doing and can do with the communities that need the support the most. Because those communities cannot do a proposal, they cannot do reporting, they cannot do all the performances and reporting that the NGOs would require. And the NGOs really requiring just about a report to close the fund cycle and go into the next fund cycle. It's a self-serving system, little impact. These grassroots initiatives have a lot more impact, whether it's like support initiatives like this or business initiatives that are working with grassroots producers around the world. So thank you for on the ground and a lot of on the ground work that you're doing through your social businesses. I see a lot of social businesses in this community, and I think this is, if we're gonna forge a future of understanding world, this is the way to go. I'm fortunate to see all of you, and when I left Palestine, I left on October 1st. Of course, I wasn't anticipating I will be here while these events taking place in Palestine. It's hard to be here, separated from my wife and children, and my family and my team under these conditions. I just want to say I'm almost 60 years old. I was born under occupation, grew up under occupation, and I grew up listening to stories of occupation, dispossession, and destruction of livelihoods. Palestine has been witnessing that since the British mandate of 1918. And the British mandate of 1918 was to occupy Palestine, to set it up for the establishment of Israel in Palestine, at the expense of Palestinian lives. In 1948, 530 Palestinian communities were destroyed, displaced, or exiled. 11 Palestinian cities with their infrastructure, factories, institutions, schools, hospitals, were taken by Israel. And their population were displaced. And the rest of Palestine was occupied in 1967. 30 years ago, we were told we have peace. We were celebrated a peace process on the White House lawn when Arafat and Rabin shook hands with the sponsorship of Clinton. Unfortunately, all three of them knew then this was a fake peace, scamming their peoples and scamming the world. If I knew it then, they knew for sure. Under the peace, the 30 years, we had, when we started the peace, we had 250,000 to 250,000 settlers in the West Bank and Gaza. Today we have over 800,000 settlers in the West Bank and Gaza. In 21, just last year, 22, last year, the Israeli government has become a settler government. For the first time in history, it's Likud with settlers who are administering the West Bank and having a hold of the Israeli government. And the settlement program is being accelerated throughout the West Bank and in Jerusalem. For the first time in the history of Israel and its occupation, instead of the Israeli military, quote-unquote military, which has, with all of that's doing, that now the military is still more sane than the government itself. The Israeli military is no longer in control of the West Bank. It is a settler minister who is in control of the West Bank. It has moved from the military to the settler who is now the finance minister, in order to allocate all of the funds of Israel into establishing and accelerating the settlement program in Palestine. This settlement program has not just escalated, it emboldened settlers to become more violent and disruptive of human lives in Palestine, whether it's shooting and rampage on the roads or uprooting olive trees and preventing farmers from reaching their orchards. I was fortunate to sit with Secretary of State Blinken, when he came to the West Bank last January on a meeting with Palestinian American businessmen. I told him straight out, we are on the brink of a civil war. Because back then, it was the Palestinian individual actors have killed civilians in Jerusalem at a synagogue, and Israeli settlers killing people in Hawara and burning Hawara. I was talking to the Secretary of State of the superpower of the world, the only power that has influence over Israel. I see that, and I'm sure he sees that. And this is a dire consequences for Palestine and Israel, not just Palestine. If we continue this path, neither of us have a future in the land. Palestinians have resigned themselves in 1994 for the loss of Palestine in 1948, and resigned themselves to build a state in what's left of their locales in the West Bank and Gaza. That's only 28% of Palestine. They resigned themselves to that, and we still don't have a resolution. With all these accelerating dispossession and rob of livelihood, when bursts of violence lash out, all of a sudden then we think where this is coming from. We present it as some savagery, psychopathology, out of context, with no history. This is not to excuse the killing of civilians anywhere. All human lives are to be respected and not to be degraded, and every human deserves a dignified life. But it does not license a rampage of war and killing and mobilize the society, the army, and international government bodies for war. It is regrettable that the United States would support Israel for a bombing campaign in the name of self-defense on Gaza. Israel is telling us that they killed all Hamas fighters that they penetrated into Israel. And they tell us that they killed 1,500 Hamas fighters, neutralized all of them. So they eliminated, in their words, the threat. So what they are doing in Gaza today and continue to do is vengeance. The media tell us when somebody, a non-state actor, do vengeance and do violence, they present it as savagery. But when states are doing vengeance, it's self-defense. They are doing vengeance against a population of 2.3 million in the world's most dense city on earth. They are telling them to leave while they are all under siege with no venue to leave. They've cut electricity, water, and food. Not only to the West Bank, to Gaza, but they also cut supplies and routes in the West Bank. So when they're starving civilians to death and bombing them on top of that. And unfortunately, the world is watching and giving sanctions to that. This is the word that we really need to change with reaching out, with connecting together. America's position is to bring about an end to this conflict. There is no way for hope for peace or normalcy of life in Israel or Palestine without a resolution to this conflict. And the news is choosy what to tell you. As they are accusing Hamas of using human shields to protect themselves, so is Netanyahu. Israelis, I was told, I was asking a friend of mine to check whether I can go home, because I was planning to go home early next week. And he went to the airport, he told me, it's chaos. a lot of Israelis in the airport, and they are sitting in the airport and the police trying to kick them out because they are not being allowed to leave if they want to leave. Netanyahu is not allowing Israelis to leave the country if they want to leave. We have 20,000 Americans in the country, they cannot leave now. So this is just to tell you that this news is not telling us the full view of what's going on. And these processes, it's the power structure, the main power. Netanyahu and Israel had a lot of choices to neutralize the conflict over the years. They still do today. Okay, we can stop the bombing now and work hard for a solution. Nobody wants the killing to go on, but the killing cannot stop by just bombing it every 10 years or every 5 years, again and again and again. It generates a cycle of violence that become more violent than the one that preceded it. So we hope that sanity will prevail, wisdom will prevail, but as long as the politicians' positions are based on the political calculus, not on morality, we are going to continue to suffer. I know Blinken knows that there is no solution. I know Biden knows there is no solution unless there is a resolution and a Palestinian state and a resolution for Palestine. I know all of these politicians know more than I do because they are closer to realities than I'm close to my local picture, but they have a much wider view. But they are all, regrettably, hostage to the political calculus. And the political calculus is controlled by the media, who's controlling the talking points, and the lobby groups. And unless we break out of that, we're going to continue to go through cycles of violence around the world and episodes of oppression, because these lobby groups, not only for ideologues, they're also for economic interests that have no regards to human lives, whether it's in Palestine or in the Congo or anywhere around the world. I hope that you focus on people, on work like on the ground, that sheds lights on these areas where oppression takes place, neglect, and this is a way for us to bring more information, adequate information, and build bridges around the world. Thank you all for the work that you do. I'm sure you all, in your own capacities, are doing some of this work. The more we generate people to be engaged in this kind of work, the more we build a better world for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Nassar. After we formally end tonight around 9, Nassar has graciously agreed to hang out if anyone wants to talk more about this after the event is formally over. We have 2 more great musicians tonight. I am going to introduce Stella Young, our Director of Development, who knows the next musician quite well. Stella, oh, there she is in the pink. So cute. Has been a fan of On the Ground since she was very young, as you can see. Oh my gosh. And then even up until high school, she, on her own initiative, raised $3,000 to $4,000 her junior year of high school to pay for the school fees for around 30 kids in the Eastern Congo to go to school. And she continued to do that for 3 to 4 years, and it's now an official program that On the Ground continues to sponsor every year. And Stella started that. And so when we really needed a director of development. As I said, we really need more funds to do more, and so we prioritized someone to focus exclusively on fundraising. Stella was the perfect fit. She lives here in Traverse City. If anyone wants to learn more about On the Ground after this event, she's a great person to have a one-on-one with. She can come speak at different events or gatherings that you may have. And she is here solely focused on helping to raise more funds for On the Ground. So without further ado, I'll bring her up to introduce the next musician.
Hello, I'm Stella Young. I'm our Director of Development, and I was lucky enough to start in this position this past January. But I have been involved with On the Ground since I was 6 years old, and I got to visit the Chiapas water projects in 2007. I have the privilege of introducing our next musician, but first I would really like to thank our host sponsor, Diana Mylock and the Begonia Charitable Foundation. Diana has been an incredible friend to me during this whole process, and we've met many times over the last few months, so thank you so much, Diana. This would not happen without you, so thank you. Our next musician is Charlie Millard. He's from Allenson, Michigan, and he's actually my cousin. So we're so excited to have Charlie here, so please give it up for Charlie Millard.
Thank you much. Good evening. My name is Charlie. I'm really happy to be here with all of you. Thank you. Thanks for being here to support On the Ground and everyone here at the Alluvion helping put on this event too. And Tiff making us sound really cool up here on stage. Thanks, Tiff, for running sound here at the Alluvion. That's right. We're cousins, Stella and I. And these next few songs are more familial collaborations, as it were. I write songs with my dad, and I perform songs with my sister and brother, and who are dancers. And I just feel very grateful for being in a family and having an opportunity to do that, and everyone here supporting these causes, giving other people the opportunity to pursue their dreams and be with their families to the best of their ability is it's all the most worthy cause. So these are some tunes. Covering tracks, miles for days, playing it out. A restless metamorphosis, holding your ground. And I never felt the same. Suns are rising, dandelion fields are all that's found. I never felt the same. Dark in the black, making a stand, laughing it up. Operation Innocence, brand new love. And I never felt the same. Suns are rising, dandelion fields are all that's found. Let me ride Arcadian wind, snow fences in the sand.
walking it back, filling your head lavender blue. A fancy bit of medicine all for you, and I never felt the same. Suns are rising, dandelion fields are all that grew. I never felt the same. I never felt the same. And I never felt the same. I never felt the same. Oh. Thanks very much. See how this goes. It's the stone green side of blue. We'll see the vicious side of you. And some say you'd better change. Hold my hand and pray for rain. I've been blind. Gutter rats and orphan thieves. Yeah, you know what I mean. And lemonade and rock and ride. Count to 10, then run and hide. I've been blind to you. ruminate on innocence. I'm brave, but not there yet. And Sister Rosalie's a mess. She tore her veil and ripped her dress. And I can see you running away. Well, taken by a leaving truth. And it's just that kind of day that I can see me running after you. Well, 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 I can see me running, oh yeah. I've been blind. Well, I've been blind. Well, I've been blind. Well, I've been blind to you. All right. Thank you much. This tune had some help with some friends of mine. Mr. Jadis Baggs and Graham Parsons helped on this tune. It's an E flat. Pack up a leaky boat and head for the Isle of Razors. And on that rock you'll see a sign. You've reached the end. Let's do it all again. I'm taking the season off, where fatalist minds haven't got the time. Let's send them up, past raindrops in the sky. What's gold is old, sweet dragonfly. So let's go away, jump right out the window. Let's go, come along and find another land to get lost again. And even when the sun grows old and the stars turn gray, you're by my side all the way. So let's go away and cast a rabbit shadow. Let's go, come along and find another hand to grab hold again. And even when the sun grows old and the stars turn gray, you're by my side all the way. Well, thank you very much. I'd like to get to Jordan Hamilton as soon as possible. That's what I walked in this building for. It was a first thought, and then I was like, wait a minute, Amber Hasan's going to be here? Knockout. And then everything in between. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to these tunes. And again, thank you for being here and supporting On the Ground. This last song here is... it depends on which one I'm going to do, I guess. Well, we'll do this one here. Slick shine off the steeple shingles. Hold tight are your wedding bells. I wanna meet the bird that nests in the grass. I'd take an axe any day. I'd take an axe any day, okay. Slingshot, that's a hobo running. Keep right of your crooked selves. I wanna ride the bird northwest so long. I'd take an axe any day. I'd take an axe any day, okay. It's all the same. It's all the same to me, and it's all the same to me. And we came to live, I guess, a strange silhouettes, and we came to live. Storm cloud that's a half-broke window. Long night wrapped around my neck. I wanna be the bird that rests in the stars. I'd take an axe any day. I'd take an axe any day, okay. And it's all the same. It's all the same to me, and it's all the same to me. Woo-hoo, woo-hoo. And we came to live, I guess. It's strange silhouettes, and we came to live, I guess. It's strange silhouettes, I guess. Oh. Cause I'd take an axe any day. 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 Oh. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlie. All right, we have just a couple more minutes. We're going to get you to the final act of Jordan. I want to give a quick shout out to Cooperatives Coffee. Many of them are in the room. Part of why we planned this event for tonight is because 23 fair trade coffee roasters are in town for their annual meeting of cooperative coffees. They've given a lot to On the Ground over the years. They helped make tonight possible, so huge thank you to them. On the Ground works in those fair trade coffee producing communities. Brett, you can queue up the Ethiopia video. Big thanks to Brett, who's been queuing up all the videos tonight. Thank you so much, Brett, with Stone Hut Studios. We have one last video, 2 minutes for you on our programs in Ethiopia. After that, Seth Bernard is going to come up. He was the musician on that 10 marathons in 10 days across Ethiopia, and he will introduce our final musician, and then Hans will close us out for the night.
All of us are from the United States, where we live in a few different areas of the country, and we're all unified around a couple of things. One is we like to run, and secondly, we like to participate in a more fair global economy where all peoples around the world are working together for the betterment of the world. And most of all, I want to thank each and every one of you, because for us as a group, this is the reason why we've run all the way from Addis Ababa to here, is to meet all of you and gain inspiration in our own lives from the hard work that all of you do on a day-to-day basis.
And we would like also to inform you that our people have great feeling in respect to you, and also the love they have for people here in abroad is very much. And also, they are here because the dedication you have and the feeling you have for them is very high, and they are all gathered to see you and for your respect. So, in the future also, we would like you to assist them and to have a friendly relationship with this community.
And we also understand that the key to developing both our communities and your communities in a sustainable and fair way is when all of us are able to work together across borders and across religions and across people in order to find a way where we can all work toward the betterment of our countries and society.
Hey everybody, thanks so much for being here. It was my honor to be a part of the Ethiopia trip, and it opened my eyes in so many ways. As Amber said early on, you know, a donation to On the Ground really makes a huge impact. And I got to see firsthand in Ethiopia how, you know, $100 or $1,000 or even $10 could really transform things for people. We as musicians got to tour the country and go to schools ahead of the runners and meet with communities, meet with the children. We toured the African Jazz School in Addis Ababa, $1,000 a year to go to the Berklee School of Music of Africa. As it's been said here tonight, it takes NGOs, you know, non-governmental organizations, to really hit the front lines and to do things that governments can't or don't do. And so on this trip to Ethiopia, I saw how On the Ground was working in collaboration with local leadership, and that the people who are already in leadership in communities were the ones that were, you know, convening people to make decisions. And you know, the impact of building a school that serves thousands and thousands of people is a impact that all of us can feel in terms of our own shared humanity, you know. But it's also an extension of community, because when we use olive oil every day, when we drink coffee every day, the people who produce these products are a part of our community. Our choices and our actions touch each other in a real practical way. And free trade systems are systems of oppression. And to you know, intentionally work for fair trade, but to go beyond fair trade, like so many of you in this room have done, it has huge impacts on people's lives, on families and communities. And also, I just want to say too that, you know, the things that I learned and the way that my perspective was expanded through this trip really directly informed my work with Title Track and my work for racial justice back home here in the United States and in Michigan. Seeing the way that colonialism has shaped Africa. Ethiopia is the only country not to be colonized by European forces in Africa. 6,000-year-old society, just an incredible amount of cultural maturity, and it inspired a different level of cultural humility and curiosity about how colonialism has shaped the whole world. So you're doing a good thing by supporting On the Ground, and the impacts of On the Ground have ripple effects in every community of every person that's involved. I know that everyone that was on that run has become a dear friend, you know, someone that I see, and we've been through something that was a peak experience, that was a deep experience for us. People across the country, still in touch with Ethiopian friends all the time. And then I became the director of the Musical Ambassador Program. Fun fact, Breathe I'll Breathe almost went to Palestine as the musical act, but they had to cancel, and Josh was willing to do it, and I'm so glad that he did. Another fun fact is the Heavy Color album River Passage was inspired by the Run Across Congo, and there's a lot of collaboration in there. So check out Heavy Color River Passage. I think you can hear Hasan singing in there. He definitely helped produce a lot of the music. So yeah, it's been a great honor to be a part of On the Ground, really inspired by everybody involved, and just so excited about Stella Young's leadership. Yeah, and so thank you for supporting her leadership. Amazing musicians all night. Another hand for the amazing Amber Hasan. I remember the first time I saw Amber, I felt like it was a epic cultural event, like the way I would imagine someone felt when they saw Bob Marley. Like, whoa, this person is supernatural and very, very much of the earth. So always inspired by you. Always inspired by Stella's cousin, Charlie Millard, on the keys. Check him out as much as you can. And Josh Davis making a cameo, always a treat to hear Josh. Last but not least, one of my dearest friends, one of my favorite musicians, orchestra geek, beat maker extraordinaire, New York Giants fan, jiu-jitsu enthusiast, fellow mama's boy. Was there cooking steaks and putting on action movies and bringing me medicine when I was at my worst a couple months ago. Yeah, you're in for a treat. Please put your hands together for Jordan Hamilton, everybody.
Okay. I know it's 9:15. What are we feeling? They were supposed to be gone maybe 30 minutes ago. If we were running ahead of schedule, events probably should, but never do. Ending at 9 would be ideal, and now we're at 9:15. Do you all want some abridged version, but still great? Or do you want me to keep you here until 10 p.m.? We said 11 p.m. I don't have that. Well, I do have that much. Be careful what you ask for. We say full? Well, I have to charge my stuff.
Sounds like the crowd wants it.
Well. Well, you heard them.
Knowing is to die. Life is just a sign. If knowing is to die, life is just a sign. Life is just a sign. If nothing lasts forever, hopefully we can fight. If nothing lasts, hopefully we can fight. We can drive the moon, we can fly the sky, we can fall so high. If knowing is to die, life is just a sign, moments passing by. I've been spending all our days inside, waving past goodbye. No time alone inside our minds, whether to provide. Right turns ahead, I know you're scared, road mapping, although we dare to change up the makeup. What lies in the past may pay us in full, but I'd rather to be true to you and me. No when I'm with you, white flowers crown, patience run down. We know the sound of you. Oh, with me, calling is found, rolling through town for our love. Ayo, ayo. We can drive the moon, we can fly the sky, we can fall so high. If nothing lasts forever, hopefully we can find a moment in our eyes.
Thank you. I'll need your help on this next one. You can sing on the chorus, it's very easy. You'll know it when you see it.
When I was 17, thought life a bit breeze. Sit back, watch the trees flow as the water's streaming till the days go. As the days go, living far from a dream. Things are what they seem, but we gon' have freedom ring, no doubt. My fight's in my DNA and my soul, without losing my soul. So hold your babies and hold your flowers, and 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 hold your babies.
That's the chorus.
And hold your babies and hold your flowers, and hold your babies and hold your flowers, and hold your babies and hold your flowers.
Just felt like I needed to do that one. Thank you On the Ground for making me feel human. It's tough to feel like that in this society. You know that you're doing something wrong by participating in the game. And you do it anyways because you're around the people that you love. You're around the things that you grew up on. And it's easy to forget the things that are not in front of your face. And it's unless we choose to go out of our path and take things out of our comfort zone that we see things that are not necessarily in our perspective. And that feels uncomfortable, but that is what being alive is. That's what being a growing being is. It's not comfortable to grow. Ask a baby, they cry 24/7. You know? And it's organizations like this. I mean, I've got introduced to it a lot through Seth. You know what I'm saying? A musician who kind of goes out of his way to support a lot of different organizations and put his music in that pathway. And it is not easy to do that because the first thing that people will tell you is that just shut up and play music. And you're like, yeah, actually, that is why I do this. But also, you have to consider that this is a whole human being playing this music. And they have cares, desires, things that they want to support. And they have this resource of making sounds to do it. And they choose to do it this way. And that is not an easy thing. Neither it is for people that do other jobs, have families, walk different lifestyles, to come and support something outside of themselves. So, I always have the utmost respect for people that are going out every day trying to figure things out. So thank you, On the Ground, for making me feel human. Another thing that makes us feel human is this thing called love. We all feel it. It's all painful. It's all the most satisfying feeling you could feel while you're eating food on this planet, flying at 67,000 miles around the sun. And this is a love song that I've titled Mars.
I woke up and brushed my teeth this morning. Think I'm out sure, man. All the things you do. I made my breakfast with eggs, no sausage. Thinking about you. I must be a fool, cause I walked out the door with keys, no wallet. Thinking about you. That's why I call you my boo. So I had to make this call to tell you I was thinking about you, and it must be true that I don't know where you come from, but they say girls come from Mars. They don't say that, but I don't know where you come come from, girl? No, no, no. What they say, girls come from Mars. So Mars must be having them. You haven't seen, girl, you're not too far from innocent. But innocence, you know more about the world, so call it rain. For energy that you give to me, and others every day in sweet ways, so call it a ray. I hope that the cycle is complete. Give and take, I hope we give what your needs, so you'll see. The boy ain't your oyster and I ain't your brother, that's why I call you my girl. You're more complete than centuries analogies. I hope that this feeling will never fix, so you'll believe my body is worthy to go on a journey through space with no hurry. Mars is the name, heaven is the body. And if you're out from Mars, going to Mars, somebody put me on that spaceship. Somebody put me on that spaceship, yeah. Somebody put me on that spaceship. Somebody put me on that spaceship, yeah.
During our time we live here, we have an opportunity to appreciate the beauty, to cultivate the beauty as we witness catastrophe, pain, the worst sides of humanity. And we can make it a wonderful world if we choose to. Some things are out of our control, but many things are.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I see skies of blue, white clouds too, bright sunny days, those dark sacred nights. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also in the faces of people walking by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow old. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yeah, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Amber, you want to join me for this?
This world is as wonderful as we make it. Each day when we awake, we have choices. Those choices shape this world. Nothing happens in a vacuum. It is all a culmination of energy that we have put out. So when we don't like what it looks like, that is just a reflection of us. Each and every one of us. Instead of complaining, instead of maintaining status quo, change your energy. Change your perspective. Change your expectations. Because the only way that we can have a wonderful world is if we create it.
What a beautiful world you are.
Oh, that was it. That was done. That was it. Thank you. Thank you. Hans.
Well, thank you, Jordan. That was absolutely fantastic. I've seen Jordan probably a dozen times, but I think this is like a home court, Jordan. There's something special happening in this venue for you. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Hey, Liv. So I think this is about the best picture of on the ground that you can get. I'm honored to be a part of this organization and to be a part of this beautiful evening. Thanks to everyone who put their work into this evening. Wow, what a beautiful thing. Thanks, Amber, for the thought of carrying a little heaviness with you. I thought that was to be embraced. I feel the same way. And also feel a real sense of gratitude for On the Ground for doing the good work that they do. You certainly heard about it. You know, there's not much more to be said. One thing I would say back to my point about healthy nonprofits and what it takes to keep going, one thing is integrity. And I think On the Ground has huge integrity. So you can count on them to carry your dollars forward. You know, I asked about this evening, and it was live streamed and recorded, and will be sent out again, and will be on the website. So if you, like me, were thinking, gee, this other person should have been here and seen this, you can just shoot that link out and say, hey, I'm into this organization. Maybe you might want to check them out too. So there's a way to carry the love and the power that was here this evening out to your community and bring more people into this organization, because this organization deserves that support. Also, you can do it right here, right now. Scan me, $10 a month. You know, all those good things are there in front of you. So hopefully you do something. And also, one last thanks to the awesome sponsors of the event. Really important when you do events to have sponsors up front to cover the costs. Begonia Charitable Foundation, Oriana, Co-op Coffees, Cherry Republic, Chelsea Bay Design, Conscious Entrepreneur, Stone Hut Studios. So thanks to all those wonderful sponsors. Thanks to y'all. Have a great night. Stay in touch. Contact Stella for more information.